Materia Ture.
Te manga o te whare tēnā koe, kia tātou hurinoi te whare tēnā tātou katoa. I te tūtahi me mihi au ki te hunamate, ki rātou nā kuia me nā kaumātua, i tautoko i te ara o tēnei whakataunga kua wehe, me nā mate katoa i Whanganui i a tātou i tēnei ata. Haere, haere, haere oti atu rā. Kia tātou te kānohi ora e taunei tēnā tātou katoa. I te māngai nōku te whiwhi ki te tū mō te rōpū kākāre ki tēnei te pānuitanga tuatahi o te pere mō te awa Tupua. Heuri a hau o te awa Tupua, o ati haunui a Paparangi. I whānau mai tōku kuia a Piu Piu, ki Hiru Harama, no kei Hiru Harama, ka takoto ia i tōna moengaroa kei te whenua o Pūtiki. Ka tū tōku manua nā te whakahirehiretanga o tēnei rā mō mātou nā uri. Nō reira, tēnā tātou katoa. Mr. Speaker, as a survivor of the people of Te Awa Tupua, it really is an honour to have this opportunity to rise on behalf of the Greens to support the first reading of Te Awa Tupua, this Whanganui River Claim Settlement Bill. E rere kau mai Te Awa Nui, mai i te kāhui maunga ki Tangaro, ko Aotearoa, ko Te Awa, ko Au. The great river flows from the mountains to the sea. I am the river and the river is me. This whakatauki speaks of Te Awa Tupua as an indivisible and living whole, comprising the river from the mountains to the sea, to its tributaries and all its physical and metaphysical elements. Kia ora, Kelvin. Our identity as mana whenua of this rohe is intrinsically and inextricably connected to our awa, and so in these lines of the whakatauki also lie the history and the spirit of our people. It is because of this rich history of whakapapa and connection to the land and to the water that the significance of this occasion is certainly not lost on me, sir. This bill gives effect to the deed of settlement, Ruruku Whakatupua, which is the culmination of well over a century of efforts by our people to protect the awa and our kaitiakitanga relationship to it. The challenges for iwi and hapu to uphold this relationship have been ongoing and massive. In the 1870s and the 1880s, they faced regulations that threatened the fishing grounds and the economic base, the destruction of pātuna by colonists to make way for gold and coal prospectors, the removal of gravel from the awa to build roads, the clearing of rapids and the draining of swamps. And the removal of gravel has continued over many decades. But throughout this history of pain, and despite the confiscation and the violence that has been inflicted on the awa, our people have been there at every step of the way, doing everything that we could to uphold the kaitiaki relationship and to protect the tupuna awa. As far back as 1888, iwi members were petitioning the Crown to stop the destruction of the pātuna. In 1895, iwi took a claim to the Supreme Court over customary fishing rights. In response, the government established the Whanganui River Trust Board, a Crown agency that took control of the awa. From the 30s to the 80s, iwi would continually fight for the recognition of ownership, tikanga ownership of the river. And often those small victories that were won would lead to larger setbacks. After long and hard work during the 80s and 90s to get to a place of negotiation with the Crown, even then the struggle has had to continue. 2 proposals for hydroelectric dams, which would have been massively destructive to the mauri of the awa, were stopped because of mana whenua claims and campaigns. Pakai Tori of the 1990s. In the same year that the terms of negotiation for the Crown were signed in 2001, the Environment Court approved a 35-year extension to the resource consent for the diversion of the Whanganui Awa headwaters, which that had happened 40 years earlier, continued for another 35 years. It has been a continual battle by our iwi, our people, to protect the river against all of the incursions against it. And through it, of course, our people have endured, and so has the river, not in the state that we wanted, but still there, still thriving, and now, under the settlement, hopefully with a great deal more control by our people over our place. That's something. That really is something. So I just want to, before I finish, I don't want to speak for too long, I do want to acknowledge the importance of the legal status that's afforded the awa in this legislation. Yes, I agree, it is absolutely about time that the law caught up with our tikanga. It has been our tikanga forever that our environment is entitled to its own integrity, is entitled to be protected and restored from damage and injury for its own sake, that it belongs, that our environment, and however we want to describe it, is our ancestor and from which we come. And therefore we owe our environment everything, our life, our existence, our future. Now, the law is slowly starting to find ways, clumsy, not perfect by any means, but slowly trying to find ways to understand that core concept. And I guess for those Pākehā who might find this difficult to understand, how you could give legal status to an ecology, to an environment, I'd ask them to just consider why it is we have in our law the right for corporations to have legal status as a person. We actually do have, in Pākehā law, there is actually something quite similar. A corporation isn't a thing, it doesn't have a separate identity, but it does actually have legal rights like a legal person. A corporation has rights under the Bill of Rights Act, for goodness sake. It's just a construction in our own minds about how the law responds to an entity. It is so much more important that we give status for its own sake to the very thing that gives us life. And in Whanganui, that is our river. A small step forward, but a step nonetheless. So finally, I want to pay tribute to the negotiators, the petitioners, the claimants, the kaitiaki of the awa over so many generations, to all of those who have contributed to getting us to this place on the journey. And I wish us all the very best for the future of the settlement and for our awa. Kia ora koutou katoa.